So Jai Gurudev Bhavesh ji.
Jai Gurudev.
So we have Bhavesh Tolani ji with us, and he's with the foundation for 21 years now, and he has been teaching for 19 years. So he has been a full-time teacher right from the start, and he was sent by Gurudev to over 15 countries for teaching art of living courses. He has also started a few countries for art of living until Gurudev asked him and his wife to move to Canada in 2009. He's not only he Today, he not only continues to teach, but he's also a vice president for the organization in Canada, and he's teaching happiness courses, Sat Samadhi courses, DSN, VTP, and teachers training program there. So, how this journey started, Bhavishji? Were you always inclined to spirituality? Were you always inclined to gurus and social work?
To be
What's your
honest,
background before
to be
that?
my background is I am a computer engineer, but I had no inclination towards spirituality or gurus, nothing of that sort. I was a very happy person after my studies. I had a good job. Then I came to Surat. I was working with my dad in his business, and I was doing very well. And one fine day, one of my friend asked me to come and do the Art of Living course, and I was a little reluctant in the beginning, but I said, "Chalo, let's just do it." So I went and did that, and I was very very happy after doing that course. I did that course, and after that itself, I thought that this is so good. I would like to go out and share this beautiful thing. Then I did. I made my parents do it. I made other friends do this course, and I started organizing courses. And the very next month, I did my silence course. The very next month, I did my DSN course. And in 3 months, I went to Rishikesh to do another silence course, and I met Gurudev for the very first time in 1999 March. That was my first meeting with Gurudev.
Wow. Meeting Gurudev for the first time, that too near the Gangas. And how was that meeting? You used to take Ganga dips with Gurudev. What all you did there?
Yes,
All
I
that.
did. I must have taken Ganga dips with him, but I was not sure about the protocol to be with the Guru and how to be and how to behave. But my very first meeting was the most memorable meeting, I would say. Uh, at that time, the darshan line used to happen on the stage, like one by one. Everyone used to go, and he used to meet everyone one by one. So it was my turn, and I went up on the stage, and he tapped me with the flower in his hand, and then first thing he asked me, what do you do?" I said, "Guruji, I work with my dad." And then the second thing he said, "Tum teacher ban jao, become a teacher, become an art of living teacher." And I said, "Gurudev, I don't want to become an art of living teacher. I just want to be with you. That's it. I want to travel with you. I want to be with you, but I don't want to become an art of living teacher." He said, yeah, just come and do the TTC. We'll see. We'll see then." So that was my first meeting with Gurudev.
And then the journey started.
Then the journey started. Yeah. Then I came and did a few courses, organized few courses, and then eventually I met with him one more time, and then he again asked me, "Did you do your TTC? Come for TTC." And then eventually I went. Like, I felt pride that Gurudev is asking me to become a teacher, but that itself is a very beautiful story, I would say, how I became a teacher. So I went for my TTC one. That time it used to be like 15 days. Vinodji was conducting, and it was a superb TTC. And after TTC, it was a very nice TTC. And after TTC, I came back home. I started organizing courses with our local teachers and assisting courses, organizing courses. And after TTC 1, then I went for my TTC 2 because Gurudev had asked me. So when I came for my TTC 2, I was very confident that I'll become a teacher because Gurudev wants me to become a teacher. And I think it was a batch of like 67 or 68 people in my TTC 2. And I did pretty well during TTC. Vikram Bhaiya was teaching that TTC. And by end of the TTC, We had 65 teachers, and 2 people did not become teachers from that batch. And out of those 2 people, one of them was me. I did not become a teacher. I was so shocked, broken. I don't know what else to say. Okay, I just did not become. I didn't expect that to happen. And everyone else became teacher, and I did not become a teacher. So that was quite a pushback for me. And from there, my real grinding started. And then after that, then I met with him, and I was questioning like, what happened? Why didn't I become a teacher and all that? But then after 2-3 months, I met with him in Bangalore, and I was very upset. Then he said, कि तुम वापस TTC में आ जाओ. Like he said, come back for TTC again. So I was like, third time, yes. He said, come for last 7 days, and then we'll see. And then I went for my third time. I went for my TTC, and I said I'll do the entire TTC again. And throughout the TTC, I was so nervous. In TTC 2, I was so confident. I think I was overconfident. But in my TTC 3, I was so nervous. The entire class was actually helping me, pushing me. And finally, on the last day, my name was announced as a teacher. So finally, I became a teacher. And then he gave me everything so nicely, I would say. Yeah.
And you started traveling as a teacher. What
Yeah.
did Gurudev say? And like any incidences to remember from Rishikesh or all these TTCs? In any instances remember with Gurudev?
I think Rishikesh, I have good stories from Rishikesh that now you're telling me. So after I became a teacher, I went back to Rishikesh after becoming a teacher, the very next week or 2. And there I went and met with him, and I said, Gurudev, my name is Bhavesh. I'm a teacher with the Art of Living. But what do I do next? Then he said, you should go to Arunachal Pradesh and Shillong and teach Art of Living courses. And to be honest, you know what? I didn't even know there's a place called Arunachal Pradesh. I didn't even know it's something like that existed, at least in India. I was really bad with my geography, to be honest. And I said, okay, Gurudev. And at that time, I didn't even know that there's something called part-time teachers or full-time teacher. I just thought that, oh, this is what life is. So I became a teacher, and I was sent to Arunachal Pradesh. And there I go. After Rishikesh, I came to Delhi, and from Delhi, I told my parents that Gurudev has asked me to go to Arunachal Pradesh and do courses. So that's where I'm going. So I went to Arunachal Pradesh, and life was really interesting out there in Arunachal.
So you stayed there for some time?
You know, I went there, and I was there for 4 weeks. Just 4 weeks, and I had the time of my life in Arunachal. I come from a place called Surat, which is like a hub of devotion, hub of good food, and I go there, and it was like a different place altogether. It was so difficult even to get vegetarian food, and it was so difficult to get people to come to our courses also. But somehow I managed to, because I had done a lot of work before, so somehow we managed to organize 4 courses in 4 weeks. But I said, no, man, I cannot even accept things and situations as they are. How will I teach people, accept people, things and situations as they are? So there was one senior teacher out there. I told her that, you know what, I cannot be here. I have to go back. I cannot. So I had to be on, in 4 weeks, I just ran away. I just went back to Surat. In 4 weeks, I just left that place. I said, I cannot be here. And then I came via Delhi. In Delhi, it's a long journey. That time it used to take like 52 hours or 60 hours to reach there from Bombay. So I came back to Bombay, Surat, and then on my way I had a halt in Delhi for a day. In Delhi, I met with Baba was there at that time, Baba and Bharat Bhaiya, Swami Brahmateji. And I met with Baba and he said, Kahan se? Like, you know how Baba is like, where are you coming from? I said, I was in Arunachal Pradesh. Guruji asked me to go there and teach courses. Then what happened? Why are you going back? I said, I cannot live there. Well, how can you do that? It's Guruji's instructions, and how can you leave without even telling him? I said, I'll go back to Surat and work and teach courses and organize courses. No, Gurudev has specifically given you the instruction that you go and teach courses there. How can you do that? He's not sending me, he's not sending Bharat Bhaiya, he's sending you. You should be grateful that he's giving you those direct instructions. How can you leave that place? And I felt a little guilty, but still, comfort was more important to me. So I came back to Surat and I was feeling guilty. So I wrote an email to Gurudev that Gurudev was missing I lied to him. Gurudev was missing my parents. So I came back. And at the end of my email, I left my telephone number also. So you will not believe, that very night I was out with my friends for some nice food dinner. And first time in my life, Gurudev called me on my phone because I had left my number in that email. So he called me and he said, "Haan, kahan ho?" I said, "Gurudev, I'm in Surat. I was missing my parents." Haan. Then he says, how's work in Arunachal? I said, "Guruji, good. I was there for 4 weeks and 4 courses happened. And good, Gurudev." He said, dekho. He said that, see, such wonderful work you're doing and so much work is needed and required out there. And before he could say more stuff, I said, "Okay, Gurudev, I'll go back again." So the very next week, I would say, I was there for like 4 or 5 days. And the very next week, I was back in the train, 52 hours. I was back in Arunachal Pradesh. And then when I went back, I was there for 4 years. Out of 4 weeks, yes. In and out 4 years. 90% of the time I was in Arunachal for 4 years. And it was quite a journey. It was tough, but I learned a lot, to be honest. And in between, he used to keep calling me, keep checking on me, keeping good track of me, what I was doing, how was I focused and all that. So it was good.
So that push was there from his side, that connection you. So being in Arunachal Pradesh from Surat, it's a completely different place. The food is different. Surat is like a diamond hub for the world.
Yeah.
I think. And from there, you're in Arunachal. How was it like? What all challenges you faced?
Yeah. See, that time in Surat, we used to do courses of like 50, 60, 70 people. And in Arunachal, to get like 10, 15 people to sit in front of you was itself a big challenge. And it was quite a challenge to get courses going out there. But giving intro talks and consistently doing it, meeting people, it worked out. Then there was a team that he sent and we all worked together and good work happened, actually, to be honest. Good work happened. There was a time we were like 11 teachers together in Arunachal Pradesh working together to organize one of his visits. And after that visit, then all of them left and I was all alone by myself in Arunachal. And still I kept going. He sent everyone out of Arunachal Pradesh and I was the only one left in Arunachal. And then once again he came and we started a school also, Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Vidya Mandir. So I was taking care of the school. I was the clerk, principal, teacher. When teacher used to not come, I used to go to school and teach them ABCD to kids also. I used to do courses, I used to take follow-ups, I used to do satsang. So everything was happening together. One very beautiful incident happened. He used to keep a good check on me. But the very first time that he called me out there was suddenly in Arunachal, there was at times quite unrest. Suddenly there will be a ban, there will be some curfew. So nothing, you cannot go out and do nothing, no courses, nothing happens out there at that time. So one fine day in that week, there was some kind of a problem and there was unrest and there was curfew. So in the morning, I had my breakfast and then I did my sadhana. Before breakfast, of course, I did my sadhana and all that. And then after that, I was like, what to do? So I started watching a movie on my laptop. And then after lunch, I didn't know what to do. So I started watching another movie, second movie. Then evening, I just did my evening Padma Sadhana and all that. And then had dinner. And then I started watching my third movie. In a day, I was watching the third movie. And there was nobody at the center, no one. Nobody was keeping track of me, like what am I doing and all that. And that evening, around 9 o'clock in the night, that time we used to not have cell phones used to not work in Arunachal Pradesh. So landline me, I got a call, and straight away it was Gurudev, first time, and he said nothing like how are you, where are you, nothing. First thing he called and he asked, हाँ कितनी पिक्चरें देख रहे हो, like how many movies are you watching? I got so scared. I just looked around, is there a camera or something like that? And he asked me, how many movies are you watching? I was so scared that somehow I said, Gurudev, two movies? He said, do ya teen, like two or three movies. Then I had to tell him, yeah, Gurudev, I was just watching my third movie. Then he said, like, listen, if you watch so many movies, then you'll have impressions accordingly and you'll not be able to focus on your work and, focus on your sadhana and completely be focused on the work. Go and meet people, talk to people. If you're not able to go out, call them up and talk to them and be for them, and focus on work. Don't watch so many movies, he said. And I was like, okay, Gurudev. And then, you know what? For a month, I did not even switch on the television, or I had no guts to even watch anything on my computer besides work and email.
It is so nice, no? Even though you were in Arunachal, he was keeping a track on you that you stay on the path of sadhana, and the sattva is maintained properly. So
Yeah.
nice. And then how did you become TTC teacher? When did that happen? And how did that happen?
TTC teacher, as I mentioned that I did my teachers TTC three times, like TTC 1, TTC 2, TTC 3. So one after 2-3 years of teaching in Arunachal Pradesh, I was back home in Surat just for like 15-20 days to meet with my parents. So I get a call in the evening from Gurudev, and he said, where are you? I said, Gurudev, I'm in Surat. He said, okay, listen, go to Rishikesh. Hindi mein he said, Rishikesh jao or TTC karo. TTC karo. Like go to Rishikesh and do TTC. So I got so scared. And then I said, okay, Gurudev. And he kept the phone. That's it. There was no other conversation. And then I was so scared. Then I actually redialed and called him. And I told him, Gurudev, I'm a teacher since last 3 years and I've done TTC 3 times and I've been teaching actively in Arunachal. You want me to go and repeat the TTC again? He said, nahi, nahi. He said, no, go and assist Bharat Bhaiya and teach with him. I said, oh, okay. I was not even a DSN teacher or any other teacher till then. He asked me to go and help Bharat Bhaiya for TTC. And that's how I went and did the TTC with Bharat Bhaiya. So that one also, it happened that Bharat Bhaiya was so sweet and so kind. Though I was assisting him, he made me sit next to him, and he was actually guiding and supporting and teaching me how to do it and all that. And after 7-8 days, somehow Bharat Bhaiya felt like he was unwell and he was not able to come for sessions. And then I was actually taking the sessions. That's how I started doing this TTC.
And then you traveled Africa also for quite some time. You started with Kenya, I guess. How the whole thing started, and Can you
Yeah.
tell few memories, few stories from your African tour?
Before this Kenya happened, in between, he had sent me to Gorakhpur to organize his visit also. And then from there, he sent me to Bihar. And after Bihar, again, he sent me to Arunachal. And one fine day in Arunachal, he called and, again, before that, before Kenya happened, I met with him in Rishikesh. And he said that I saw Sanjay Bhaiya also. He did wonderful session for Guru Stories also. So I saw him in Rishikesh, and he did such transformational work in Kashmir, and I always felt like, I also want to do something like this big. And I was just about to go and tell Guruji, mujhe bhi aap like send me to a place where I can do something like this. I was just about to go and tell him, and he's telling, okay, listen, you go back to Arunachal, work there for a year, and then I'll send you to Africa. I said, okay. So then again, I went back to Arunachal, and after 6-7 months, he called me again. He said, how is it going? I said, Guruji, good. And then I'm reminding him, Guruji, you had asked me to go to Africa. He said, yeah, I remember. But, before you go out of that place, you should make a team out there. You've been there for like 2-3 years. You have to build that place, and then you have to leave. वहां पे तुम teachers बना. He said, make new teachers, make a new team, make a committee, and then I'll send you to Africa. I said, okay, Gurudev. So then I was there for 1 more year. Then we made teachers in Arunachal, and then one fine day he called and he asked that, Suno, I'm sending you to Africa. And that was my first ever trip outside India. And I think that was the second time I must have sat on an aeroplane. I didn't know how it was to be going outside of India or anything. But that
Then
itself.
Kenya, right?
Sorry?
To Kenya, no?
Kenya, yeah. So I went there and I landed in Nairobi airport, and I came out and I asked someone, where do I get my bags? They said, go down, you'll get your bags. So I went. I got my bags. Somebody came to pick me up at the airport. I went home with them. I was there for a month in Nairobi. And the very first day he called and he asked, पहुंच गए तुम? मैं बोला, जी गुरुजी, सब ठीक है? मैं बोला, yes. And the first day itself he said, start teaching prison courses. I said, okay, Gurudev. Go to prisons and teach courses out there also, besides general public. And while TPs, teach prison courses also. I said, okay, Gurudev. So in my first YLTP, there were like 90 people in my YLTP. And during that YLTP also, we had a chat. That time, Saji Nisan, a teacher from Kerala, we both were teaching that YLTP. And very beautiful thing, he, during the course, Gurudev, we spoke to Gurudev, and Gurudev said, he said, अच्छा तुम सबसे मिल रहे हो ना? Are you meeting everyone? I said, yes, Gurudev. No, are you meeting everyone individually? I said, yeah. Then he said, देखो, सुनो, well, listen, have you seen me meeting everyone after a course? Like, no matter, there are thousands of people in the advanced course, but on the last day, I go and meet with everyone. Isn't it? I said, yes, Gurudev. Like that, go and meet everyone. Connect with everyone. Be there for everyone. And that was a very good lesson for me as a teacher, that we usually just teach course and just do a Jai Gurudev and hi hello, and on the last day little light hi hello and just bye bye. But he said, connect with everyone, like one-on-one, meet everyone, connect with everyone. And that was a very touching lesson for me, to be honest. Yeah.
I remember once in Delhi, he was addressing teachers and he asked, how many of you call all your participants maybe few months after the course and you ask them, are you implementing your 5 knowledge points? Are you facing any difficulty? How how does this how does this course change your life? So, you know, this being there for everybody, even after the course, is something that it's very important in art of living. You know,
Yeah.
Gurudev has guided many teachers.
But even with this story that I shared about how I became a teacher and how he made me a teacher, the lesson that I would learn from that is, जब तक हमको till the time we don't have that patrata, na, that reverence of his instructions, and we cannot put vikalpas in his sankalpa. It was his sankalpa. First thing he told me that you become a teacher. I said, no, I don't want to. How can I say no to his sankalpa? Then our progress might get delayed, because it's his sankalpa and the
Mm.
reverence. So he made me realize the value of being an art of living teacher.
Was referring to, I think you went on a tour to pyramids, no?
Yeah.
Against foreign invaders and cancer, everything from HIV infection to the common cold. And what's been found is that the number of natural killer cells produced by our immune systems is significantly higher in people who practice Sky than the population at large. In today's world, if we want to increase the likelihood of a long, happy, and healthy life, we must be proactive in getting our stress levels under check and increasing the wellness aspect of our nervous system. And harnessing the power of the breath through specific breathing techniques is one of the easiest and most effective ways to do this.